What's up, guys? Testing. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the new stream. Welcome back to episode 9.0, or should I say version 9.0 of our to-do app, which we call Fake Dona. Um, Fake Dona basically derived from the name Dona, because Dona is the original name of the to-do app, but since we are just kind of like creating a community version of it, there's no need to actually give it the same name. So that's why I decided to actually name it Fake Donor. Yeah, I think it's actually sounds more, much better. Um, okay, yes, guys, it's been a few days since having actually worked on the To Do app. Kind of like been busy for me, with a whole lot of stuff going on, and also with the World Cup. Um, just give me a moment. Let me actually set up some stuff. Looks like I'm having issues on some places. Um, yeah, guys, can actually go ahead and tell me stuff that you want me to know on the chat section. I'll be listening till I get this stuff. I'm ready, and I will just jump into the stream. Okay. Yeah, I think we are good to go. Um, yeah. So basically, let me actually go ahead and introduce stuff we are going to do today. And I have a question on the chat. Let me know what's your thought. Who do you think is going to win today? If you're watching the game, or you'll be watching the game between Spain and Morocco. I'm interested on you guys' feedback and what you guys think. And also, what do you think about Portugal too? I think Portugal is facing what's it called again? Switzerland, right? Yeah, yeah, I guess. Might be wrong, but I think it's Switzerland. Yeah. So, guys, who do you think is going to win, and who's going to come out being the winner of the round of 16? Yeah. So, guys, welcome back, and I think I've said this before. So let's go ahead and over here in our stuff we are going to do today. Kind of drafted out some stuff I think we need to do. So I could just focus more on that, and then with the discussion that will be going on. And also, if you actually like what we are doing, please do subscribe to our channel. If this is your first time joining, I'm always live on Twitch, YouTube, um, most also on LinkedIn, but recently LinkedIn I've been kind of like I've been having issues with LinkedIn. So if you are joining us for the first time, just do subscribe to our channel and join us every single day. Not actually every single day, because yeah. Okay, back to this. So I'm hoping that we can actually be able to add this section whereby we want to see our to-dos. Whenever we tap on a new list, we want to actually see it show up. So this is basically what we are trying to add. And let me show you guys. Yeah, this feature. So whenever I tap on any of this list, you can actually see it update here with the color of the list, and also with the list that belongs with the to-dos that belongs to that particular list. So this feature right here is what I'm trying to get us to implement today. So let's get on board and start doing that. Currently right now our app, just don't mind this mobile app here. We are not going to use it. We just be focusing on the on the desktop app for now, and to actually get it right, then we can just move into mobile. I don't know what happened. This should actually run our code, but for some reason it didn't. So let's see what's going on. Okay, wait, selected device is not actually working. Looks like I need to shut this down and open up a new VS Code. So yeah. Okay, we have our new VS Code open right here. We need to still open our app, which is called what's the name again? Fake Dona. Yeah, this is it. So I don't know what happened previously. And then I can just command shift and command key with P to open this up. Then we can select our device, which is Mac OS in this case. So go ahead and run this. It should be, yeah, should work right now. Let me see. Okay, let's wait for this to actually complete building our app, and we can actually start testing it and start working on stuff. While we are still waiting for that, I can just put this by the side right there, and then we could just go ahead and okay, I think our app is on. So if you take this side by side, you can actually see we are already implemented all this stuff right here inside our app. So this whole stuff is working as we expect it to. And if you tap on this, you can actually see the green color on the tab bar. That's because that's still the same stuff that's happening over here. When you tap on any of these that has a color, you can actually see the color being displayed right there. And also this one doesn't have a color, so there's no color showing up here. And also with this it doesn't, so we don't have any color showing up there. But these icons have a color, so we have that showing up. So let's go ahead and do this. We're going to say that if so what we want to do is that when the user basically selects any of this, we want to show the title of that selected list inside our main view. This is our main view. We show the title, we show the color background on it, and we show the icon next to it. And also basically we can actually show the date also underneath it. So let's go ahead and do that. So here we go. Here's our main page at the top. So where's our main view again? So we have our main view right in here, and if I scroll down, this has to do loading. If not, show us a to do that has a columns and a text field. Okay, before the text field, we just need to add the stuff that I wanted to add at the top over there. First should be a row widget, so we should have a row widget. So I would say that should be a row widget, or instead of even saying a row widget, this should actually be a stack. I think it's much better to call it a stack widget. Comma right in there. Stack should have a children, and the first side of it is actually a container. A container right there. Container is going to have a child. I'm still having a child for now. You can actually say that the container is going to have a decoration. So the decoration we're going to use basically the box decoration. So there we go. We have the box decoration. We have gradient, which should be linear gradient, and within it you should have colors. For now we're going to do some hard-coded colors just for testing purposes. These colors should be colors the red, and the next should be colors dot transparent, so should be transparent, and next after this should have stops, right? Let's actually look at somewhere. Let's copy some code, some node with this similar stuff. Okay, yeah, I get it. Just copy the whole stuff, use that in place of what we want to do, and just do a little bit of changes to it. I think that should actually help us. That should be inside our main view, right in there. I'm going to basically remove the linear gradient and paste this one right in here. And now we need to remove both of these colors and replace one with colors the red, like I said, comma, we have colors dot transparent with a comma, and we need to make this constant, yeah, to fix the issues we're having. That means this will not be constant anymore, and then we could go ahead and save this, and we are expecting to see a red color. Begin at bottom left and stop at bottom right. Let's see, we needed to make this parent to be, okay, let's give it a height property, or we can say the height is 50.0, and next we could actually say width is 160.0. Go ahead and save that. There you go. You can actually see this showing up. Can I use size box on the parents and add the height and those property on the parents? There you go. And since we want this to be from the beginning, so there shouldn't be any padding on it at all, so that means we have to remove the vertical padding we added previously in here. So we don't need the vertical padding, that should be removed. Save this. Yeah, so this starts from the top, and next we want this to start from the left hand side. Okay, that should be, now we need to actually change this to start if you actually want to get that. Yeah, so that should start from the left hand side somewhere right in here, and I will go ahead and increase the height a bit. I think we messed some stuff up right away right now. I will go ahead and copy this out, then go ahead and delete this section. Yeah, delete this section, so this goes away. Now we don't have this, but this kind of starts from the beginning. What we should actually do right now is to wrap this column with a stack. I think that's much better. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna wrap with a stack instead of a column, or yeah. Save this and make sure we're not having any issues so far. Let's see. Okay, that's good. And next, inside our stack, then we can actually add the code that we just copied out before. Save that. So I'm using position on field on it to see if we can actually take the whole space available to it. That didn't go as planned. Looks like I'm gonna add a height property in here. Let's actually say it should be 130.0, and we can actually say the width should be, but again, so let's say the width should be 200.0. If you save that. Okay, nice. See the reason why we're having that issue. The reason why we are not seeing this right in here is because the background that we currently have here is covering this particular view. So that's why we're not seeing the red colors on it. But we can fix that by saying main view should have an outer container instead of a stack view. Could have an outer container, and if it has an outer container, the outer container will have the background color instead of this particular container we have right in here. Let's see where we use our main view. The main view was using the main screen. Yeah, which is somewhere right in here. So it should be a container. I think that should fix our issue. So if I wrap this with a container, then we can be able to do what we wanted to do before. So there should be container. Where is it? Yeah, let's see that now. So container, I'm gonna say color. Basically paste this in there. If I go ahead and save this, yeah, now we can actually see this as the linear gradient we added. Now it's kind of like underneath every stuff. So that's basically what we needed. We needed it to be underneath there. Next, I'm just going to do is to just kind of fix some stuff at this point. So one is to start from, instead of bottom left, I will say it should start from top left here, and it's going to start from this section. Nice. Let's see what this looks like. Okay, and looks like we need to remove this position field. We don't need it. Yeah, there you go. And so since we have that showing up at the top, we can actually increase the width, some stuff like that. Let's say the width should be around, let's use media poly for the width here. Media poly dot of context, so it can actually grow and shrink depending on the size of the device the user is using. That's why we're trying to use media query on that side of it. So I'm going to say media query dot of context, not offset. It should be okay. We already did that. Dot size dot width, multiply that by something like 0.1. Okay, that's too small. Or about 1.1. That looks too big, but we can actually manage that a bit. So we have this starting from the top. We can actually increase that a bit. So let's say we have 1.6. And right now I can actually start adding the opacity to this one. So it can actually be 0.4. If you save that, you can actually see the opacity being applied to this color that we currently have right here. I'm trying to figure out where we use this. See, okay, button selected, not button selected of value. Just want to copy some code about that. Should be somewhere right here. Okay, where we have this, the brand test opacity starting from begin to end. Okay, these are red with opacity of 0.1. okay, so the opacity is 0.1. that's what we'll use there. Okay, in this case I could actually say the opacity should be 0.1. see what that looks like. Okay, I see. And this could also have colors dot opacity dot transparent. I'm trying to figure out a good base for this, where we can actually stop, where this kind of looks much better. Okay, I think I'll actually keep it this way for now. And then since we have this, that means this container at the top right here within it, which is this, should have a children, so basically a row widget. So has a comma and should have a children inside the row. First one is going to be an icon, or we can actually start with a text just to see how everything looks at the moment. Then hard code this to be saying something like personal, and then have a comma, is to make this a constant. You go ahead and save this. Okay, there we go, and it actually looks a bit good. Until we actually need to start pushing this down as a padding at the top and a padding below here also. So I can actually do that. I could use size the box for this, a comma, make this a constant. So I'm making this a constant. It shouldn't be a constant. I'm gonna have a height. That's gonna have a mediocrity dot of context dot size dot height multiplied by 0.1. We can actually see the effect. Okay, that pushed it down a lot. That's too much, so I'm gonna actually say 0.04. Okay, I think at this point is good. We can actually do the same for the next one beneath it. Underneath it, will should be this test form field right in here. Save that. There you go. There you go. Save. Restart. And this shouldn't have a padding spacing at the end. To actually see why that is happening. Okay, so that's sidebar. Let's see what it can actually change here. Okay, I have a width of 390. Okay, a margin. Okay, so we don't need this margin right, this spacing right here. So to fix that space, now we'll change this stuff from saying symmetric to only. So this margin will be added at the left, not at the right. So this one will be added at top and also at the bottom. Should also have the same 15.15. Go ahead and save this, and that's what we got in here. So this margin spacing right here is now removed. Now we have this naming at the top, showing up at the top. Next off, actually let's restart, make sure we didn't break any stuff. Okay, yeah. Next stuff you can actually do is to increase the height of this text we added right there. I'm looking at this to be around, let's say 12 pixels or something like that. Let's go ahead and fix that. Should actually say this test should have style, should have test style, should be font size should be 14.0. Save that. Okay, that's too small. Okay, actually add 20.0. Oh, we actually doing it at the wrong place. No. Yeah, so this is where we should be doing that. Let's go ahead and copy the whole text style. There you go. Put a comma. Save this. Then you can actually see that being increased. Okay, I think we are good to go, and we need to add the icon at the end, like before the icon before the text, something like that. To do that, we don't need to recreate it from the start. We can actually copy that custom forms from our custom bar, this particular icon right there, and from our custom bar we can actually see where we used it. Those icons were used right in here, whereby I'm trying to figure out which stuff did the user use, use. I think we'll actually in this case either I copy this over and use it at the other end, or I can actually create something like a reusable stateless widget that can actually render this depending on what icon on emoji that the user selected, something like that. I think for now let's go ahead and copy it. Okay, let's see. So it's not, if it's not an icon, go ahead and change it to if it's not an icon, go ahead and change it to a transform widget. If it's not a transform widget, to a text. If it's not a text, go ahead and change it to a container, depending on which one the user kind of like have at the moment. So if I'm to translate that into a stateless widget, it should look something like this. Now we need to copy it first, so we can be able to translate all the way to this end. Copy that. Now head over to our main view right in here. Instead of main view, what I will do, so underneath it I'm going to create a stateless widget, STL for stateless widget, and I'm going to call this icon, or basically say list icon, then say return this, which is going to throw up an error at the moment. Create a final variable here, which is going to be this widget, boolean is icon, is going to be optional also. Next, is, we can actually say final is emoji, which the emoji exists or something like that, or a case of saying is icon, I will just basically say icon data. I think that's basically what we need right in here. Widget icon data to display, and also when we come to widget, the emoji is not null or something like that, so that means this should be icon. There you go. And next should be emoji, which is actually a text in this case. Should be a string. Call that emoji. This should be null. Start being null. And finally, okay, there's nothing else again. Just basically add this into the constructor. Come on. Yeah, select. So you have this dot icon not is icon, and we need to remove one of these. Come on. Now we can actually see if there's an icon, just go ahead and add the icon right in here, and this should be starting with if icon is not equals to null, is true. Go ahead and show this. Else check if emoji is not equals to null, go ahead and show this emoji. Else go ahead and show a container of color. So I should have something called color that should be null also. Another property called color, and what is it again? It should be an integer. Yeah, wait a second. Okay, it's actually a real color, not an integer. So in that case, it should be color. The type should be color, and the name should be color. Since we have both added, and don't forget to actually make this to be optional, and that means making it to start out being null from the beginning. And let's see what else we need to do. Color, if it's active, do this. If not active, don't do this. Icon color should always be black. We say colors black. There you fix that. And next, this shouldn't have any transform translate, so basically remove the transform or translate from it. We don't need it. And then the emoji, then you have the color showing up. So with this converted into a reusable widget of its own, I'm going to go ahead and save that, and we can go ahead and start using it within our app. So the first place to actually add this will be somewhere right in here. This icon with a comma, and in this case I'm going to say this should be a color. I'm going to pass a color in here to be something like 0, create just a color hex, code 0x, full opacity, any random stuff to create a color, and I'm going to make this to be constant. Yeah, that means this shouldn't be constant. Wait a second. Not colors, should be color. Yeah, there you go. Go ahead and save this. For some reason we can't actually see it. We definitely need to change this to a different color value, hex code, or we could just borrow one from our color directory where we have all the hard coded colors we want to do. I think it's somewhere right here. I don't know if you guys remember the one we kind of like did a hard-coded colors that we wanted to use within our app. Okay, I see it's within this dummy data, and I'm gonna pick the blue one. I could actually pick the green one, pick the color name or the color hex code, something like that, and then we can just use that inside our main view instead of what we have right now. Go ahead and save. Yeah, there we go. You can actually see the color showing up right in here. Now I can actually add a size box between them. Kind of adding a spacing. Size box, comma, just say width 10.0. Should be a spacing between both of them. And if you take a look, that's the spacing we are trying to get to. This maybe we need to increase it a bit, something like 15, or let's say 20. There you go, 20.0 within the between them both. And now we need to increase the width, so this should be 6.5, or no, 2 point stuff, so that can show 18 by 18. Yeah, nice. Whatever we make it 20 by 20 or 22 by 22. Save that, and there we go. Then we can actually increase this to 2.9 and just 3.2. There you go, nice one. You can actually see that showing up here. And then we have this color and the current list user selected, which is basically what we have right here, the icon and then the list user selected, and this should be starting from this line. Okay, we need to fix that one, but for now let's see how to fix this. You can actually see the linear or the gradient added at the backhand at this, but our own is actually in a linear form, but this doesn't look in a linear form. This kind of looks in a radial kind of a radial gradient or something like that. So you can actually solve that issue using flutter gradient. yeah, flutter gradient. Let's see what we could actually come up with. Let's see. We have box decoration, UI linear gradient. Not what we are looking for, or not linear gradient. We are looking for different type of gradient. Okay, this says time mode on mirror. Time mode on mirror. Let's try this top left. Yeah, I want it to start from the top left. Let's see if this is going to fix our code. So let's go to the color right in here. I'm gonna say this time mode and then begin and stop. But I'm not too sure this should be linear gradient. But actually, let's try this first and see if we get this fixed. Then we can actually look for that type of gradient we can actually use within our flutter app. Then figure this out, save. Okay, nothing fixed, it didn't work. So in that case, okay, we need to change a different gradient, not this linear. Let's see. Okay, we have sweep gradient, which is we're grading in a sweeping arc around the center point. Okay, let's see what this looks like. And also the radial gradient. Let's try this first. So that means we are moving from linear to radial. Okay, it doesn't need begin and stop. That needs to be moved. What else does it need? Okay, you already need stops, which we added. Radius, okay, it needs a radius and a center. No, not what we're looking for. Not what we are looking for. Okay, we're trying to use like I said, we're trying to use linear gradient in here to see actually how this will look like. This goes out to start from this end. If we go and expand this to 4, okay, we're trying to get a good positioning for this, so instead of using, just use 3.5. Wouldn't that actually make it look smash? Okay, but the issue is this line that we have here. I don't want that line to be there. I want the line to be gone. So that's one problem we are having right now. We could actually go with this because this is actually closer to what we currently have, a bit like this, or we could either keep tweaking it to get to what we are looking for. We'll do that. Let's trying different mode of this. Trying tide or clamp. How many tide models we have? or we can actually try the second gradient that we wanted to try before and we didn't, which is the sweep gradient class. So let's actually see how that works. To try this, I will need to just copy this for now all the way to the gradient path, and then since we already have this using our linear gradient and some stuff like that, no, we use radial gradient to actually get this curve almost closer to what we are trying to get over here. You can actually see what this looks like right in here. So in that case, what I could actually do is to try another different gradient combination and see what we can actually get. Or we can actually keep this one. Let's say paste. It should be constant. Remove the type. Don't need type there. There you go. And this, we don't need a type on it. Let's make this to be constant. And then math.py, we just need to import this from math library. Import that. Yeah, that's math as math. Then close it off, and that should solve our problem right in here. That means I need to make the box decoration to be constant because that's the parent. Okay, and that gets our code fixed. This itself is actually different from what we're trying to get to. This gradient is not actually close to what we are trying. I could actually limit this to 2 stops, and if I have 2 stops, I can just use these 2 I currently have right there. And then change the colors to be the colors I want to use, and then use that in place of all the colors we have right in here. Also needs to be this a constant. Okay, nice. See, so this is using a 2D mapping and 2D rotation and stuff like that for our gradients, so that definitely do not come close to what we need. We basically go ahead and delete this sweep gradients. We don't need that, and then we can go back to the previous one we used, save this, there we go. I think this is actually close to what we are looking for compared to what we have here. Can actually tweak this later on to get this exact kind of like this exact gradient or color that shows that at this path, because I know this is being used. This is a gradient they're actually using here, but in our own case we are getting closer to that but not there at the moment, so later on we can actually figure out to tweak this stuff. But for now, let's actually leave it this way and then continue what we are doing. Let's see what else we can actually do. Yeah, so right now we actually got this to be displaying right here. The next stuff we could actually do is to work in a way that if we click on any of this, then this will just change dynamically to the current list that has been tapped on. I think that's the next place we can actually work on. Okay, back. So how do we get this part to actually work? So right now we already have this showing up at the top, but we need to get this color to change dynamically depending on what the user has been tapped on, but actually need to reduce this transparency a bit. Yeah, I think we got it. Yeah, I think this is much better now. That's cool. So let's leave it at 0.1 and leave this task showing up at this top compared to what we have here. Later we can actually make it more fitting, but let's go ahead and fix this one. So right now when the user taps on that, we need to change this color and also the icons and the text all together, and this is inside our main view. Within inside our main view, that's what we are doing all this stuff right now. What I want to do is that our main view also passes what we call to-dos block, and from our to-dos tab block, which is using tab block. What is even our tab block again? Our tab block is different from our list tab. Our list tab should be okay. Let's figure this out because I've forgotten how we actually did this. That's why I need to add a comment somewhere. We are custom form is where we're actually creating our tabs or sidebar. Okay, within our sidebar we have custom input list, something over here. And if you head in there, so let's say we go in deep to actually see what we are doing there, and we can see that we are listening to something called tab block. Okay, we call it list input list block. Okay, list input block and list block. So what we are looking for is list block and nothing else. So yeah. So this is our custom form, and if we head over to our main view, which should be this, right? And this is listening to our to-dos block and also a to-dos state, and then we have to-dos block, tab block. This also should be list block to get access to the list that we currently have, and this will also give us access to the selected list. Also, when someone taps on any of this list, it should actually give us access to the selected list too. As I remember when we are trying to create the states right here in the list blocks, so we have state looks like this, a list of to-do lists, yeah, and event. You have load list, add to-do list, give a particular list, and update to-do list, same right in here, and let's see, also these two. Let's see. Okay, so I see what we need to fix. So what we are listening to, we should be listening to is a tab block right in here. So in this case, so we're still in our main view. Inside our main view, that means that we need to wrap this section, where should it be again? This and this with a tab block to actually build this depending on the current tab that the user selects. So I think that's basically what we need to do. Or you can actually block build that, build multiple. Can you listen to multiple blocks? I don't think so. Okay, we're gonna do this today. We should be able to actually get to the finish line, and no matter what it takes. So I'll actually see. Okay, let's try this. Hopefully this works, and if it doesn't, we can actually figure out a way to do this. Because I want to listen to the tab block, and the event that is going to be emitted should be from tab event, right? To-do list. Wait a second. So within our tab block, which is currently here, this is our tab block, and event is called to-do list. No, the state or whatever is going to be emitted, that should be it. go. We say active. Active goes right in here, and this should return. Okay, we need a tab, but wait a second. Okay, we have active. We should invert the constant variable. Constantly true must be constant. I think I have the yeah. And that is fixed. We can actually make this to be const. Since we are not actually displaying it at the moment, the active to do that was selected. If I'm to display, so we're not going to make this active, so but that doesn't, we are not going to make it constant, I mean to say, because that doesn't make any sense. Active dot name, comma, and then make this to be constant. We say that this should be force unwrapped. Hopefully that's not okay. Yeah, that's cool. So you can actually see the changes applying immediately. If you go ahead and restart this, yeah, so you can actually see the list that is currently selected is called home. If you want to tap on this, see that it kind of like changes immediately to conform to that particular list that has been selected. So that's good, and that's basically what we are trying to do right now, and that's working. So next is the icon. Which of the icon is being selected also? So that's what we actually have to figure out right now. So I'm going to wrap this also with a builder. There's some stuff we actually need to do later on. This code can actually need a hand in refactoring. We can refactor a lot of stuff. Also, I already see where we need to do some refactoring later on. But for now, let's continue with this. So I'm basically going to say when this builds active dot color, which is basically an integer, and this is going to throw an error. What I'm going to do, active the color if this is true, basically say if this is not null, go ahead and build a color. Add this, go ahead and build a color. Yeah, just build a color, and then pass in the active dot color property. Else, I'm also going to force unwrap it. Else return null. That works. Next property should be, so we have a color property. We also need an emoji property, so I'm going to say emoji. So do the same right here, active, or basically pass, okay, yeah, active dot emoji, yeah, passing there. Since this is going to be null and this is actually accepting something that's going to be null, so the next one is icon. I'm going to say active. So for the icon one, that should say if active is equals to, the name is equals to home, that means the user could actually use okay, that's a bit tricky at the moment. And then let's see what happens here. If the user taps on the home, which icon is being displayed? Okay, nothing is being displayed as an icon when the user taps on home. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. So in that case, I could say active. If the color property is null, basically go ahead and do colors dot okay, leave it at null. Then the icon says none of them is going to have an icon, so I can actually save it this way, save and test. It's going to throw some errors that we need to fix. Still throwing the same error. No shake is using a null value. No shake. Color is not equals to null. If it's true, go ahead and pass color null, else. So where do we actually have this issue? Okay, let's take a look more into this to have right in here. This color null shake was using a null value, and the color property is only being passed when there's actual colors. Also, X, we're gonna have this. It's kind of like through. Okay, active the colors if it's not equals to null, so that means it's not empty. Go ahead and show us a color property right in here, passing a color to this user, and then else if it's null, go ahead and pass in a null property to it. And the same we have for the emoji. If there's an emoji, passing an emoji, else passing a null value, because if emoji is not still null. And then the icon property also showing up right in there, and in that case we are not actually accepting an icon from the design we currently have, because if you take a look at the design, we are not accounting for an icon, because if you tap on this, it doesn't account for any icon. So in that case, so I remove the icon property, so we need to rewrite our list icon stuff. So I'm going to remove this, we don't need this anymore. We are going to remove the icon path, because icon is not needed. So I'm going to say if emoji is not equals to null, go ahead and show emoji, else go ahead and show a container right at this point. Also, I think I'm going to fix some issues, so I'm going to say also if color is not equals to null, go ahead and show the color property, else go ahead and show okay, let's actually go ahead and show an empty container in this case. Yeah, hopefully this fixes our errors, and this will require us to do some remove the icon property from here, since we're no longer looking for it. So that is fixed. Yeah, that fixed our errors. And in this case, if you tap on this, you can actually see the icon being shown. If you tap on this, you can actually see you can actually see the icons and the name of the list being shown together also. So that's part of what we are trying to do, and that's working. But the issue right now is that when you tap on these ones, there's nothing there, and that's because it doesn't have any icon or color. So in that case, we're going to hard code some color for it instead of an icon. I think it makes sense to hard code a color property for it. I'm gonna say the color property should be green, so this should be colors. dot green. There you go. Save. Nice. So save that. So you can actually see the home has a color of green. Today also has the same color of green. Yeah. And then it remains the background color. We also need to change the background color depending on the color that the user kind of like selects. And I'm going to say that should be done somewhere right in here. Yeah. So since this is going to be dynamic, and I'm going to say active. So you see the reason why I said that we need to do some formatting, refactoring in our code base, because there's some stuff that doesn't make sense so far. We added some code that kind of doesn't sit where we need some changes to it. Example of that is this place that we added this builder, and yeah, we need to actually figure this out. So I'm gonna wrap this with a builder also, and change the builder from this type to this type, and it should have an active property. And now in there should return this, and I'm going to say active.color, or basically say color. I have active dot color property, and force that to be unwrapped. But if you actually do this right away, it's going to cause an error and our code is going to break immediately. So to fix that, what I'm going to do is to say active dot color. If it's not equals to null, go ahead and do this. Else, if it's equals to null, go ahead and do colors dot green dot width opacity. No, not with alpha channel, but with opacity should be 0.1. You have that. Go ahead and save that. Yeah, I think that's working. Go ahead and restart our app. So that's cool. If you tap on this, it's going to have that same green color as its background. And if you tap on this that has a different color, is still green color at its background. Same with all this stuff, or else we add a list that has a different color. So if you try this, so I'm going to create another list, and I'm going to call this World Cup matches. Sorry, World Cup match, and then select the colors that we want. I could go ahead and say I want the color, this color, selected, and then hit the enter key. There you go. You can actually see the list being added, and then with the color we selected. So if you go ahead and select this, now you can actually see the background color now changes to match this particular color that has been selected right here. So that's what we are getting so far, and that changes is working fine as we expect it to. Okay, that's cool. I'm fine with me. So at this point, let's see what else we need to do. So now we added these icons, row tree, the text, the background changes, also added stuff on this place. And the next, that's what basically saying fix to do main view to show which list is tapped. So yeah, which is basically we fixed right now, showing which list that we tapped on: personal, work, office, World Cup match. And next is to actually fix this one to actually show only the list, only the to-dos for that particular list that we tapped on. So we need to do that also, because right now it's just showing all the lists that we currently have in our code base. For most of the lists even belongs to home, and it's actually showing it when we tap on that list, so that doesn't make any sense. To fix that end, what I'm going to do, we're going to say when someone tapped on someone taps on this personal list, stuff like that. So we want to kind of like update our list based on some changes. Let's see what we could do about that. Let's see if we can actually figure out how to do that. So basically we want to rebuild our main view, which is have not the list displayed. Okay, underneath it we have all this list displayed right in here, and the list is coming from to-dos block itself. And here is our to-dos block. So we have our to-dos block showing up right in here. So I'm going to minimize this a bit. This is our to-dos block, and within our to-dos block we have the states: when to-dos is loading, when it's loaded, when to-dos is not loaded. And each of them actually has this property. Each of them requires what exactly? Yeah. A property called to-dos loaded, and these particular to-dos to be added to it. And if we take a look at, let's see, to-dos events, so you have load to-dos, add to-dos, update to-dos, and delete a to-do. And inside the to-do block, okay, so we have load to-dos, add to-dos. Then inside the to-dos block, when we kind of like tap on the action or the events, when we kind of like hit the events load to-dos, it basically emits and gets us all the to-dos that needs to be loaded within our app. But what I want to do right now is, so when we call load to-dos, when this event is being called, we want to load a to-do with a different basically load a to-do with a different to-do list. If I don't know if that actually makes sense. So I'm calling this to-do list, I'm calling this to-dos. Yeah, this is a list, a grouped list, or basically a list. I think that's actually the best way to call this, a list and to-dos. Yeah, to-do list, to-dos. Right in here, so we are going to say that when this event is being called, we are going to load a to-do based on currently selected to-do list. I think that should make sense. So let's try that. We could actually pass that event through this to-dos loaded, to-dos loading, to-dos loaded, to-dos not loaded. Okay, I got it. So within our events, so when we say load to-dos, when this is being called, and not add to-dos different. Basically add a to-do to a to-do list. Delete to-do does the same, but load to-dos we actually require something like this. So I'm going to say to-do and a to-do list. So almost similar stuff we did for add to-do. I'm going to copy that and do some changes that we need. Wait a second, before we do that, we'll basically go ahead and commit our current code, so that if we make any mistake, we can be able to revert back and fix them. I think that's actually one good that's why it's very good to use Git and actually be able to create different versions for whenever you're working on each features and stuff like that, so that I can revert back to the previous states and start working from there if you cannot hit any load block or something like that. So I'm going to say this should be a fixture that we added, and this fixture, since we actually did a lot of stuff in here, and I will just summarize it. I will summarize it to say feature should be new latest updates to do's, and then commit. Every single thing is now being committed. Now we could go ahead and start fixing this. So I will say this should have to do and of type to do list the same. Change this from add to do to load to do's. That becomes load to do's. Then over here, same load to do's, and then the to do list that we want to load to do's from should be basically saying comma list is this is a list we want to load from. So basically go ahead and save this. Now we're gonna have some problem to start fixing. First of all, the first one should be inside the Learn app where we are having load to do's. Oh my goodness. Okay, that's an issue when there's load to do's, because this is going to require us to pass into events, two variables, not basically what we are trying to do. And they should basically saying to do events. The only stuff we are going to pass to it is the current list that has been selected. That should be this dot list. Lists. So there we go. Still going to have the same errors that we need to fix right in here. This requires us to say currently called load to do's. We need to pass in a list to it, and I'm going to create a list, and that list will start being this, since that will be the first list we're going to create. So I'm going to say list or that, and the index should be 1. So if we do this like this way, that means a to-do can never have the same name, because it's going to throw some errors. So a to-do can never have the same name, because if a to-do has the same name, that means if you want to update some stuff, it's basically going to maybe update two of the to-dos that has the same name or something like that. So I think it makes sense if you're going to go through this route, or later on you can actually figure out a better way to do this without going through this route. Or maybe you can actually check that particular block inside within our own block. And can we do that? Call block within a block. Flutter block. Let's actually see. No, not this. I'm trying to see if you can actually call a block within a block. You can basically listen to a different block within a different blocks and stuff like that. Okay, I will look into this later on. But for now, let's go ahead with the one I came up with, because I always kind of like create a dummy first to do this to start with, which is home and to do. Those are always dummy, and so we have both of them right in here. Go ahead and save them, and this is not going to show us any error again. So what I would need to do right now, we could just basically go ahead and go straight to what should it be right now. Not screens but widgets. So main view, because that's the place we are currently working on, right? In our main view, whenever some stuff is tapped, then we can actually update this to do based on it. So in that case, I'm going to say when sidebar, yeah, I think that makes sense here. Within our sidebar, when a list is tapped, because we're using add or update a particular tab block or something like that. So what I'm going to say is that when a list is actually tapped on, I'm going to update the called load to dos to actually update, and that should be coming from right in here. I'm gonna say final to dos block is equals to provider out of context should be to dos block. There you go. And now when a tab is clicked on, go ahead and also call to do block dot add. That should be called load to dos that request a particular list to be added to it, which should be also this list right in here, and that is fixed. And if you go ahead and save this, and then go to the list block that to dos block that we have right in here. So whenever this is called, it's going to call our repository to load all the to-dos and then update our emit the events, and then we can actually handle that within our own UI. So if you go ahead and try this out, tap on this, and we could actually assure that this is being called. Let's close this and tap, you can actually see, okay, list page loaded. Let's say log code year 2. Yeah, so yeah, that's basically code. You can actually see that record here too, and the state is being updated without we can actually notice that, but we will do when we start fixing this. So right now we're over here, we are calling load to do's, this particular endpoint of this particular API from our repository. So we need to fix that in our repository. Go to definition. Within our repository have load to do's, and we don't have load to do's by list, so we can actually create one. We could create one right here. I'll call that future of type list of type to do's entity, because that's what is going to return to us once we make that call. So I'm going to call this load call this load to do's by list, and there we go. And this is going to bring out some errors that we need to fix, starting with repository, our local repository. So I'm going to add this, create one missing override, and in here I'm calling this. So what I'm going to do is basically the same stuff I'm going to do right here. Return go. DB storage by load to do by list, but that's a mistake we made so far. Let's fix that. When this is called, it's going to need a parameter, and the parameter is going to be a list, maybe a list name, or we could actually say a list or a list name. Yeah, I think we can actually have both of them. Pass in a list and comma, have a string which is basically list name. There you go. List. There you go. So we actually update the web client path. For now I'm gonna leave it this way. Do the same for the key value storage, because all these are kind of like implementing it to do repository, which we are going to actually go ahead and do next. Can I have a way to key, save it in a key value storage. Also have a way to save it in a cloud where I can actually access the web repository to get it. And last, we have the DB storage, which is basically our local storage, not a key value storage. So we do have to do our implementation right in here. So basically we're going to say when this load to do is being called, you're gonna be still the same stuff we did here. There you go. So I'll wait for Isar DB. Maybe synchronous function. Then basically return where Isar DB dot to do entity. But we are not going to talk about to do entity. Dot to do list dot let's check out the query parameter for Isar DB, but I'm thinking of using maybe the where or the filter function to do the stuff we want to do. But let's actually check this out first. So let's get started. We have washers. Okay, we're not doing create or read or update. Want to do not links but queries here. Okay, so the queries we have filter, easy to use and understand depending on the type of your properties. There are different filters operation available, most which have self-explanatory. Okay, choose date string. Okay, I will say filter dot Okay, I think I figured out how we can actually build the filter query that we want to. So I'm going to say Isar DB dot to do's entity, not list anymore, dot filter, and in our case filter dot where to do list. Query returns a query key dot name equal to list name Okay, after that we need to mash find all on it. Okay, we need another query that's basically going to say dot find all. Okay, now I guess we can actually go ahead and start using this within our app. So within our list, within our to-do block, so we're not gonna use this anymore, this one, and comment this out, but almost the same code, so you can actually know what we are doing. So I'm gonna say final. Oh no, remove that, and this is going to be to-dos dot load to-dos by list. And since this event as an event, I'm going to say event dot list, and also event dot list dot name. So we first unwrap it because we know it's not going to be empty. So if you go ahead and save this, hopefully this works on our first try. So let's try this out. I'm going to go ahead and restart whatever we have so far. Let's tap on this. Okay, that's working. That's actually cool. And if you tap on this, you see that this is returning all the 70 queries from home. So if you count this 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17, yeah, this is returning all the 17 queries, all the 17 lists that belongs to the home list. See how cool that is. That's cool. And if you tap on today, it's going to return 7. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Nice. If you tap on personal, it returns empty. There's nothing there to return. And if you tap on color, the same. If you tap on office work, it returns 2. So there's basically 2 to-dos within office work. And if you tap on the latest one we added, which is World Cup, nothing is being returned. And if you go ahead and add a to-do to it, so let's say the to-do one to add is basically say wash Spain. What is it actually playing now? Let's say wash Spain. Spain versus Spain is playing against Morocco. Yeah, versus Morocco. Slash wash. So where do you want to wash it? So there's a perfect place to actually watch a World Cup in Dubai. And I just found out recently is basically located in Expo, yeah, Expo City, yeah, Dubai Expo Center. And I watched the match between France and France and Poland there. So I'm gonna say wash at which location? At Expo Expo Center. I don't know if that is actually the name, but I know it's located in Expo. I've forgotten the name. So watch Spain versus Morocco, and then we have our to-do title. No, our to-do notes should be watched at Expo Dubai Expo Center. I think you just add Dubai there to actually make more sense. Dubai Expo Center. If you hit the enter key, not this enter key. Okay, now we have a problem. We hit the enter key, it goes to the next line. That's interesting. That's because we added this right in there. That's a code we added for that. That should be inside our main view. Within our main view, we can actually fix that. Because we are saying on field submitted, go ahead and add this. But because we added this max line equals to null within our code, so if you hit the enter key, it goes to the next line. So with that being removed, you hit the enter key, now it's been added. But we need to fix this so that when you hit the enter key, it just goes ahead to basically add our list. So you can actually see that our list, our World Cup list, now has one to do item inside it. So even if you go ahead and restart this, you can actually feel that it has one item inside it, and others can actually keep going up to see what this has. And you can actually go ahead and create another list with emoji or icons or whatever you think you can create it with. So also our dark mode themes also added to the app. Yeah, okay guys, looks like we'll be stopping here for today. Hope tomorrow we can actually do more, because that's what we still have remaining. Just have to go and do some stuff by the side. So we completed fix to do main to view to show which list was tapped on, which we did. So I'll just drag that to done, meaning that we completed it. Next is to add and delete list, which we didn't do, and we need to fix this one. View to do and its notes, we didn't do that. Update, add input time suggestion, so we didn't do all this. We just completed one of these today, and it took us 1 hour 58 minutes to actually get that to work. Interesting. But the good thing is that at the end of the day, we actually got it to work. It worked, and that's the important part of this. Now we can actually have a way to view our to-dos, add to-dos. But for the next stream from tomorrow, hopefully we'll be able to delete it to do, update it to do. When you tap on this, we should have it pop up somewhere here that we can actually delete our to-dos from, change our to-dos and all those stuff. So just hope that we can actually accomplish all those tomorrow. And I think that will be the end of our stream for today. So guys, thank you for joining me, and also if this is your first time, try to subscribe to the channel, and let's get our subscriber count going up. Let me know what you think about the streams. Let me know what you think about the what we are doing, where we are actually doing the blog patterns and other stuff, how we are updating our blogs with our events and all those event driven stuff we are doing in Flutter right in here. So let me know what you guys think, and see you guys tomorrow next time. Don't forget to subscribe.